Is a cloudy spring day here in Georgia, and I wanted to take you on a garden tour. This is our second summer in this house. Our move-in date, we're quickly approaching our 1-year anniversary. And although we haven't been able to do quite a bit with the garden as much as I wanted, we have been able to grow quite a few things in our front raised beds, and we've started making room to actually build our garden. So I wanted to take you on an update and show you everything that we're growing this season. One of the first things that you will notice that is different this year is I have this lovely pathway. Logan built this for me because for some odd reason, the front door of this house is all the way over there and there was no walkway or anything that led to it. So he took it upon himself to create this pathway. We did end up buying the pavers. Some of those we had from the old house, and then these bricks were actually left here. There was a huge pile of them, which was such a great find. So I was really impressed. He got sand and worked on leveling things, and I thought for a first time for a 16-year-old, he did an amazing job. Most of everything that we are growing is still up front here, and a lot of it is still herbs and flowers. So I am doing some things like these were lilies that were dying. They were basically in the ground, and the ground here is just so clay and hard that they were becoming root bound. So I did dig all those up, put them in pots. I have calendula. I have this pretty purple thing. I don't even know what it was, but I bought it this week and it was just beautiful and purple and spiky. So I thought it was great. Most of what we have here is, like I said, I have herbs. My oregano is going crazy. My yarrow is also doing super well. It's flowered this year. I'm really excited. And then more calendula. I use this to do a tallow balm for Tracy's eczema because it does get really bad with the changing of the seasons and then also in the wintertime. And then I also have some pepper plants tucked in here. I have 2 of them. Oh, and look, I have a baby pepper. And then also green bean plants. I decided that I was going to not buy any new seeds this year. All I was going to do was just use up seeds that I had. So I had a whole bunch of green bean seeds and they are doing so well. I literally put them in almost every single raised bed that we have. This one has my strawberries, an orange balm plant for making tea, of course, green beans. My feverfew, it had a really rough year last year, but as you can see, she is happy and she is even spreading. I'm really excited to see that. Over here, I did try to do my green stalk tower again. I have mixed success with this. Sometimes it'll do really well and other times it really doesn't. So at the top here, I have lemon basil. I have regular basil. These were basil seeds from the old house. This was a feverfew sprout that has like tripled in size. I moved it because eventually I'm hoping to do an herb garden, an in-ground herb garden, so I'm kind of getting those ready. But see, like this is dill, and some of the dill is doing amazing, and some of the dill is doing terrible. So I don't know. I can't really say that I love or hate this. So I don't know. Take that as you will. Again, more yarrow. My sweet potato starts. This one's all done, but I have been doing sweet potato slips. And because I don't really have a deep place for those, and these beds are all busy, I actually was able to get these pots at Costco. They are ginormous. They were like $19. And so I decided to plant my sweet potatoes in here along with some just pretty flowers. I have been focused so much on just vegetables and stuff because my flower garden at the old house was really established. I didn't really mess with it a whole bunch, but I did decide this year to do some more flowers. So hopefully this will be deep enough that these vines are all sweet potato vines and that they will all produce sweet potatoes. Obviously, that's the goal. This box has some garlic. My garlic didn't do really well this year. I've never grown it in a metal box like this, so I'm not really sure. But green beans, of course, a bee balm, some strawberries I had to do, and then what is that? That's feverfew again. So I actually ended up doing 4 of those big pots with the sweet potatoes. So hopefully that will give us some nice sweet potatoes. This box did great. I grew kale and collards in it over the winter time, and if you have seen any earlier garden videos, you will know that this is the bathtub that was in the master bathroom. It was one of the most uncomfortable tubs to sit in, so we decided to take it out. We're going to move some things around inside the house. In here, of course, I do have green beans, but I have also started some okra up here. It gets full sun up here the majority of the day. So I started some okra up here because this will be a perfect place for it. This box has a little bit of everything in this box. We have some lemon thyme, we have garlic, we have yarrow, we have green beans, obviously, and we're about to be eating green beans. I'm so excited because I was not able to grow them last year. Just between the move and kind of everything else, it was too much. And then over here, I have more calendula, lavender. I do have some zinnias. I tried to start some sunflower seeds, but like I said, I am not buying new seeds this year. I'm using up any old seeds that I have first. So I don't think those were viable. So we may not get sunflowers this year. I'm not sure. It's not something I'm really stressing about. I just didn't want to throw them away. So I figured I would plant them and we will see what happens. And if nothing happens, then okay, whatever. It's not a big deal. And then this box has sage. My sage plant from last year overwintered really well. I've got some okra here and I've got, some more zinnias. So this section of the garden is kind of new. I really did not have anything here last year, but I am trying my tomatoes here this year. First I have, these 2 are cherry tomato plants because we really do like cherry tomatoes for our salads. And then the rest of the tomatoes I did are all big slicing tomatoes. I think I did Better Boys. It might have been beefsteak. But I was able to hang at my trellis with big bungee cords. I think these are 18 inchers just around these posts. And they are doing really well. I do need to water them because they don't get any rain. But I am getting tomatoes. And I was actually able to even take some suckers off of these guys. Some of the larger ones when I was trimming them up, and root them in some water. And so they are ready to be transplanted as well. So I'll be working on that later on today. These are my potato plants. I don't know how these are going to turn out. These were store-bought potatoes that had put off sprouts. And so I just decided to plant them and see what happens. These plants look really good. These probably not so much. But these 2 look really nice. And then I saw a thing on Facebook, I think, where you could plant them in these crates, and we have a whole bunch of these. So I did some test plants in here. They're not doing incredibly well, but you know, it was fun to try, and I already had the potatoes, so it wasn't a big deal. Now around the back section of the house, this area has been challenging for a number of reasons. So when we started putting gutters on the house, because this house had no gutters on it at all, which is why they did this ugly rock border all the way around the entire house. I quickly realized how much gutters are awesome and keep all of your plants and your dirt in place. So when I moved these boxes over here, because we really don't get any sun next to the house on the back side of the house, this is the far side next to our living room, and it does get morning sun over here. But without gutters, of course, everything I planted was just getting splashed out and washed away. So ended up using these plastic like roofing panels, which I use these in the wintertime usually just to cover the boxes to keep the frost off of them. But right now they're serving as a rain deflector until we can save up some money to get gutters put on the top of the house. Because of the limited light in this strip, however, I am still kind of struggling to find things that will grow and do well over here. So right now what I have planted is zucchini, green beans, and some cucumbers. I did have some strawberries over here, but they were not happy, so I ended up digging them up and replanting them. You will see, however, that even though the plants are growing, like the cucumbers in the back just, I don't know, nothing's just really very happy over here. So I do think there is a really strong possibility that after the spring, when this stuff kind of peters out, that I'm gonna have to unfortunately dig these boxes out and relocate them to a better place. We are going to get gutters put out on the side of the house, but also with the amount of sun over here, I'm just not sure that this is a great place, or I need to find something that will grow in more shade than sun, I guess, is the better option. But the exciting thing here that I can show you is we have started making room for the garden. So although it is not going to be nearly as large as the old garden, and also it will not be in the ground, I am going to do completely raised beds because the soil here is it's just really terrible. There is some topsoil, but for the most part, it's tree roots and it's clay and it's rock hard. So we have been having the chickens over here just trying to eat the bugs and fertilize what is over here. Maybe one day eventually I'll be able to do some in-ground stuff, but instead of just trying to kill myself and make it all happen, I am going to focus on raised bed planting. We were able to take out some trees over here. Some of these were actually just really too close to the house. That one is about to come down. We've had to hire a company for about the last 5 because of their size and location to the house. And I'm also hoping that when this tree comes down, hopefully I'll get even more sun back here so we can kind of figure out what the situation is. But I am excited to say that we have a garden location. We've been working on fertilizing it and things are coming along. So with any luck, we will at least have our fall garden set up back here. It's going to be a process, of course. Raised beds are not cheap. And I am going for metal raised beds this time, and I am spending some money on them, but I'm saving my money, I'm budgeting for them, and since this is hopefully our forever home, I am okay with just building slowly so that it can be the garden that I really want it to be. Okay, and then on the back side of the garage, we have some more raised beds. These have strawberries, and I think I planted some German chamomile in here, obviously green beans. This was my raspberry and mint box. I built this at our old house, and because I had just built it and I loved it so much, I absolutely took it apart and moved it when we moved here. And thank God that I did, because unfortunately we had to go back to our old house a few months after we had moved to pick up some mail, and the person that bought our house had completely destroyed the garden and torn down the chicken coop, and I cried. I'm not even gonna lie about that. It was a dark day. So I'm really glad that I brought this box because it was something I built all by myself and I was really proud of it. And also lumber is not cheap. So again, we're dealing with some sun issues here. This tree is gonna come down. This is one of the trees that the tree guys are gonna come get. So this tree is gonna come down, and then we recently were able to sell our old tractor and purchase a new to us tractor that has a bucket and a excavator on it. So we're going to level this out. Hopefully we'll be able to get some grass back here once these big close trees that are dangerous for the house are down. But this box will most likely have to get moved, and it's probably going to get moved somewhere in there, just kind of on the edge of that drop off, because again, this just does not get enough sun over here. The raspberry plants all died. And quite frankly, last year when they died, I just had too much on my plate to even try to save them. But the mint is doing really well. It has, oh, that's a giant weed. Sorry, you can tell I need to come back here. It has taken over, which again is what this box was designed for. Mint and raspberries actually do really well together. Plus, because they are so aggressive and spreading, because this box is fully lined, it keeps them from spreading and, you know, sending out rhizomes underground and stuff. So in this box, I do have cucumbers. I did try carrots back here because it does stay nice and shaded, and that's great for carrot germination. And then I had some extra zucchini plants. I didn't know where to stick them. My first round of cucumber seeds did not come up in this box, so I shoved some zucchini plants in here. They seem to be doing fairly well. This does get a little bit more sun than those other boxes on the other side of the house, but I still just don't think it's enough. So again, I'll probably be having to undo this, move it, all that fun heavy lifting stuff. And then this box here as well is strawberries. This is lemon balm for tea, and of course green beans. My mulberry tree that my mom got me as a housewarming gift last year is doing really well. She has probably quadrupled in size. She's due for a repot soon. And then these fig trees, I'm so excited, were actually offshoots off of a fig tree that I think the previous owners tried to kill, honestly. They cut it down to the ground, and then of course it did come back. And so figs will root wherever their branches touch the ground. So this had rooted, so I cut it apart from the main tree and put it in a pot. It did winter over. This one did get a little bit of damage from one of the major freezes we have, but it did winter over, and they are doing really well and are getting really nice and strong. This is the original fig tree, and you can see here, I mean, this thing was huge. It was as big as my hand. The trunk was as big as my hand. So this is really all that's left of it. And there were no figs last year by the time we moved in, but we do have some babies this year. I'm really excited. And then these two branches we are trying to root. My sister recently just moved, and her husband loves figs and has always wanted a fig tree. So I'm going to root some fig trees for him for their new house. And finally, this is another area I'm going to be very excited to show you guys as we develop it. We had some trees that we had to take down. They were leaning towards the house. They were much too close to the house. And so we took them down, and they were sweet gum trees. And if you don't have experience with sweet gum trees, they're just the devil's tree. They really are just obnoxious. So we did take those down. We have a few more in this section to take down that are having some issues. And then all of this right here is going to get turned into an herb garden. Kevin has gotten really interested in herbs and medicinal herbs and how to make things with them. And so I told him that if he wanted to help me, we are going to build some beds, and we are going to make this kind of like a cottage garden, an English garden type thing. Very informal, very kind of natural, but also I have quite a few things in pots that would do better in the ground. And they're surviving in the pots, but they would just be so much happier if we could get them in ground. And since we're going to build some beds out of stones that we have on the property, and really not have to dig too deep down into the dirt, then I think it's going to be possible for us to do more in-ground stuff with herbs and flowers in this section than it would be to do like in the vegetable garden where I need to do like some deep digging. So I will definitely be taking you guys on that journey once we can get these trees taken down and get the stumps dug up. And then, I don't know, I might learn how to use the tractor to rip some stuff up, which sounds kind of fun because power tools are cool. Thank you so much for joining us today, or joining me today. Everyone else is inside. But thank you so much for joining me today on our garden tour video. It is springtime. We are trying to get this chicken coop finished. And once that is finished, that is a huge project. I will have a video on that. But it honestly is taking up the majority of our time because we are trying to get it done so we can get our chicks in and get things moving. And until that is done, everything else has really kind of taken a back seat for us. If you've watched any of our other videos, you know what a time we have had in this house between the rodent infestation in the crawl space, the wires that have been destroyed, the air ducting that was destroyed and had squirrels and mice living in it. We had water intrusion coming under the porch that had to be redone foundationally. The foundation under the garage was missing essentially. There was about an 8 by 14 foot gap of our garage, or a section of our garage that was just floating in the air because the concrete was not touching the ground. It was like floating 2 feet off the ground. So we had to get that taken care of. Getting gutters put on, getting a shower rebuilt because the shower was completely unusable. It had a huge leak in it that was flooding the crawl space. It's been a time. And even though it may not look like we've done a whole lot at the house, I know that we have. Of course, I want to see it all done and, you know, pretty and fixed up and everything. And those things are coming. But a lot of what we've been doing, unfortunately, has been so stressful and just like that ugly behind the scenes work that it was hard to make a video of, you know, killing rats under the house and stuff. Like, it was just hard. So there were a lot of things that I just felt like I haven't been able to make a video on and share with you guys. But we are getting back to the place where we are at kind of shareable things. Not that I don't want to share the messy parts or the ugly parts of life, because that's true life, you know? I mean, hard things happen, but more so, I really also want my videos to kind of be inspiring and not just to come on here and complain all the time. And it has been a year of complaining because it's been a lot, but I think we're on the upswing of it. We're finally getting to do some projects that we want to do instead of just stuff that we have to do. And so that's the stuff that I'm really excited to share with you guys. So thanks again for joining us, and I'll talk to you soon.